Drop, stitch, magic loop, slip, slip, purl, slip, slip, knit, twisted cord, wrap and turn, pick up and knit. Joe plays scarf.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Joey's Scarf. This is episode 27 and today is August 7th, 2018. We're coming to you from Barnegat, New Jersey. That's off Long Beach Island, the beach. It's a beach community. We're not a beach community, but Long Beach Island is a beach community. My name is Linda.
And I'm Ross.
We're husband and wife.
I'm married to you?
Yes, you are.
I don't recognize you.
Oh, how come? You notice anything different about me?
What?
You notice anything different about me?
You had a new hairdo?
I do.
You do? I do.
I do.
Okay. Okay, very pretty.
Thank you.
When did you sneak that in?
For the past week I've had this hair. No, really, I just got it done
You
yesterday.
just got it done yesterday?
Yeah.
God, I've got to update myself on things going on. Okay, so
Okay, let's see. What else do we have to say?
you have the list.
I have the list. We've had I wanted to say you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Linda Grace, and that's Linda with a Y. And I want to welcome any new subscribers and welcome back you loyal fans who stick with me. So,
Anyhow,
we've had a busy July.
yeah.
Today, by the way, it's extremely hot. We've had a couple of hot days. July was pretty nice, but now the summer has kicked in. And that's why we're staying inside today. Okay.
I think you're going to put your arm around me.
So, we've had grandkids all month long. We have 6 grandkids, and they've pretty much all came for overnight visits at one time
Out
or
of
another.
6 weekends, 5 of them had grandkids.
Yeah. And one of them had my sister. So it's been the Goldstein Bed and Breakfast open for business.
That's right. B&B.
Yeah. We did have, you can talk about this. We had an emergency phone call and an emergency visit to Ross's sister.
Which is a handy 8.5 miles
8.5 miles?
800 miles.
Is it 800 miles or 500 miles?
It's about 800 miles. I mean, we went straight to Lake Erie.
To Erie,
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So it was an 800 straight through drive. We made it in record time, about 2 minutes. My door to her door.
I don't think so.
She's in much better shape, spirits, and whatever.
It was one of
Hi, Joan.
It was one of those phone calls that you dread getting. And Joan, who's Ross's sister, is his only living sibling. And and you really don't have that much family.
Our family was huge, but everybody's kind of disappearing on me. Well,
due to age, location, and other things.
Yeah. But that's part of life, and I'm glad Joni was okay and everything was straight upstairs.
Yeah, so anyway, Erie, Pennsylvania, near
On Lake
Lake
Erie.
Erie.
We stayed on Lake Erie.
Yeah, but it said bayfront. I didn't know that lakes had bays.
The Great Lakes do.
So what does that mean?
It's a large, kind of naturally closed off body of water,
That is fed from the lake?
fed from the lake or is part of the lake.
So we stayed at the Marriott Bayfront on Lake Erie, and it was quite beautiful.
It was very nice, and I'm not even saying very nice for a Marriott. It was very nice. The location was on Lake Erie. The views were spectacular over the water, and it was pretty decent.
Yeah. I'm going to probably pop some pictures in. We had a gorgeous sunset one night. And I think I read somewhere that that spot is one of the top 10 sunset views in I don't know,
in the country, I think.
probably.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a sightseeing visit. It was we chose Erie, Pennsylvania, because that's where Joan was taken to the hospital. So we could be close to the hospital. We had planned to visit her in July under much better circumstances. So we may go back and have a really nice visit with her. Maybe the fall when the leaves start to change. But
And that's going to be quick.
yeah,
They change fast up there.
yeah. So that was our unexpected.
Summer vacation.
Yeah, really.
It's okay.
Yeah. Anything else going on?
There probably is some stuff I don't want to even bring up.
Or what our
Don't even mention it. Don't even mention it.
We had this weekend. We had two 14-year-old girls visit.
I forgot.
My granddaughter Bella and her friend Taylor. And I expected a whole different experience. They wanted to come. Bella wanted to come, bring her friend, so that we could go to the beach. I expected, I don't know why, I expected giggles and laughing and squeals. I expected teenage girls, but I think they're both very shy, quiet kids, and it was pretty quiet.
It was pretty quiet, but they were the...
Yeah.
Everything was up.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to hear any conversations.
And they whispered, even though we were 4 rooms away. So we were 50,000 steps down the beach, and they're still...
But we took them shopping, which they loved. They each got henna tattoos.
It looked like little brown bird droppings.
It was a wave. It was supposed to be a wave, and it was very funny on the inside of their arm. We took them to lunch, and then Sunday, we went to the beach. My daughter and son-in-law and the other 2 grandsons came, and we all went to the beach. And
2 of the 5 grandsons came.
Yeah. So Bella's brothers came, and we can't survive anymore on that beach. It was just, we had the umbrella, I had my hat, and the girls were in the water as soon as they got there, and for, I think, in hours they were in that water. And it was cold. It was only 60 degrees.
Oh, if I had gotten in, I probably would have stayed in. It was really...
So anyway, that's what we've been up to. I wanted you to tell them the story. Tell everyone the story of this mug.
Well, if you'll notice, it's...
You have to hold it the other way.
I will. It says on it, if I'm sitting, I'm knitting. Well, not right now, but we were told about this mug by Linda's friend,
Ricky.
Ricky. She lives in the same community we live in. And she mentioned the mug and where it was in Beach Haven.
Right. So
In a gift shop in Beach Haven.
right,
Somewhere in a beach shop in Beach Haven.
we had taken the girls shopping in Beach Haven, and there's a lot of little cute little gift shops, a lot of them in Beach Haven, and we happened to run into Ricky while we were shopping.
And she mentioned to you
Mm-hmm.
that she saw a mug in one of the stores in Beach Haven
She didn't
on Long
remember-
Beach Island
Right, she didn't remember which one.
during the day.
Right.
She didn't remember it, but I had seen an unusual mug. I didn't know what it said, but it fit the description of everything that Ricky had said. And I said to Linda, I'm going to get that. I know where it is.
I was skeptical.
5 minutes later, I led everybody out the street, out onto the street, down the stairs, across the street, through a little alley, into a shop, walked right to the back wall, and there it was.
It was amazing. The whole thing was quite
Mystical.
coincidence. I like to think that it was.
It was
Because when Ricky saw the mug, Ricky is not a knitter. Well, she's a crocheter. When she saw the mug, she thought of me, which was interesting. And then Ross went on this mission, which I could not believe. He found this shop because she didn't know the
in
name.
less than 15 minutes.
Right. And we're following him, and I'm thinking he's never going to find this shop, never going to find this mug.
It's from, I remembered that from about 5 or 6 years ago.
So we went to pay for it.
And the woman behind the counter said, "Oh, it was made by my friend Linda."
No, it was made by the owner of the shop.
By the owner
for
of the shop.
her friend.
For her friend Linda, who is a knitter. And I said, "I'll one-ups you. My wife is a knitter, and her name is Linda." And there she was right behind me, looking at this mug in disbelief.
Yes.
Total disbelief. I still don't think she believes me. I think she thinks it was a plant.
And this is a one of a kind. She made this for her friend, and I think she made another one and decided to put the other one in the shop just in case some random knitter named Linda came in. And
That
here I
was
am.
it. How
So-
about that for a story?
That's a good story. And if you have nothing else, I'm going to send you on your way.
Oh, okay. All right,
All
so
right.
we'll see you another time. It's been a pleasure. Well,
Bye. Bye. See you later.
bye.
Hey, on with the show. So as you know, or if you don't know, I'm going to tell you that the name of this podcast is Joey's Scarf, and it is in honor of my son Joe, who passed away, I think it's going to be 6 years in December. Passed away 6 years ago in December. He had colon cancer. So this podcast is named in honor of Joe. We have a group on Ravelry called Joey Scarf, and we just finished up a knit-along called Joey Scarf Summer Top Knit-Along. There were 6 participants, and if you get a chance, go and check out their finished objects because they're beautiful. And I picked a winner, and I will announce that in a little bit. So, let's talk some knitting. I have 2 finished objects and some works in progress. My first finished object is a pair of shorty socks. And they're just the standard recipe that I use. which is, I do a 2x2 rib, and for about, I don't know, 1.5 inches. And then I put the waist yarn in to hold the place for the afterthought heel. So this is an afterthought heel. And then I go down the foot and for however many inches that I need, and then do a decrease and a Kitchener grafting, or whatever you call it. I've used to do my socks on a size 0 needle. I think my feet are getting fat or something, because I seem to need a wider foot now. So I'm now using a size 1 47-inch, because I do these one at a time using magic loop. Really doesn't make that much difference actually, but these fit me pretty good. So those are my socks. Fortunately, I don't know whose yarn this is. It's an indie dyed yarn, hand dyed yarn. And if you watch this and you are the dyer of this yarn, thank you. It's really pretty. So those are my socks that I made. Okay. This is what I had. This is what I had left over. Now this is from a full skein of yarn. I already used this yarn in something else, perhaps a shawl, or I think a shawl. So I had enough left over to make those socks, and this is what's left over. I'm not sure what I could really do with this, but that's the yarn. Pretty. Okay, my next finished object is a top that I made for the Joey Scarf Summer Top Knit-Along. And I made two, actually. I think the last one, I showed the last one in the previous episode. But this is the one I was working on last episode, and I've completed it. I'm going to put a little video in here to show you me wearing it. So let's watch that now. There you go. Did you? Okay. So this is the summer top I made for the Joey Scarf. What?
Knit-Along.
Okay, I have a prompter there. All right. This is the Joey Scarf. Take 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Take 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So this, I just wanted to show you what my top looks like. This is this top I made for the Joey Scarf Summer Top Knit-Along, one of them. And I'm really not happy with the way it came out. It's tight on the sleeves. I don't like the gap in the neckline, and it's way too short. I really don't like the tightness across the chest. I could take the bind off and make it longer, but I'm just not interested in doing that. I just don't like the way it fits. I think I may, I'll have to see what size I made. I think I made a large actually, but I'll check that out. And that's what happens when you don't do a gauge swatch, I guess. But anyway, this is the top. I'll talk about the yarn and everything in the podcast. That's it.
Go around one more time.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, as you heard, I was not very happy with the way the top came out. It was way too small. It just did not fit, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. Probably nothing. I don't know anyone that it would fit. The yarn I used is Barocco. Barocca Quinoa. I can never say that. Quinoa, right? Quinoa, I don't know. It is 91% cotton, 9% nylon. It feels, I mean, it feels okay, but it's textured, as you can see. And actually when it knits up, it does feel pretty soft. I think I don't like the stretchiness of it. I just wasn't happy with the cotton, and it wasn't fun to knit with for whatever reason. I guess I'm just used to the feel of merino, and that's all I can say about that. So it was an experiment. I have a lot of this left over. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. Don't know. Probably it'll sit in my stash forever and it'll disappear one day somehow. Yeah, so that's my story of this top. I think that's what made me a little hesitant to try and knit another sweater or top. I have to figure out how to do a swatch and how to make the garments. If I make another garment, I want it to fit, because this is a lot of work, a lot of knitting, and then when I went to try it on, I was very, very disappointed because I put a lot of time and effort into it. So that's my story. This color is called Blueberry. It's really a pretty color. I like the way the color looks on me. So it was a fail, I think. Yeah. I thought about my granddaughter, but I don't think she would even want to wear this. I did like the pattern. I like the detail in the pattern with the lace here. For right now, I'm probably gonna not jump into a top or a sweater anytime soon. Yeah, so that's my experience with this top. The top, the pattern is the Rondeur, and it is by Mercedes Tarasovich Clark. But that's the top. So I have 3 works in progress. I've been pretty much sticking to trying to finish something before I start something else. So I don't have a ton of finished objects, which feels really good. So this is what I'm working on. I'm working on a shawl, and I may have shown this in the last episode, but I'll show you the progress I'm making. This is called the local yarn shawl, and this was conceived to honor local yarn store day. And I think I was out on that day, and I purchased yarn from one of the local yarn stores, and I got the pattern for free. But you can buy the pattern now on Ravelry, and I like it. It's a pretty pattern. I'm enjoying doing it because there's a lot of different patterns as you go, so it's not boring at all. Yeah, so this is how far I've gotten. And hard to hold this up, but this is what I've been so far. This is the right side. And it goes like this. Pattern is really fun to do. Again, the yarn, I don't think I'm that crazy about the yarn. It's a Barocco tow, and it's called Remix Light, and it, as the name indicates, it's a bunch of yarn, different types of yarn. It's 30% nylon, 27% cotton, 24% acrylic, 10% silk, and 9% linen. It feels very, very soft. It just feels airy and very lightweight. So it would probably make a good warm weather shawl, which I doubt I'm going to finish before the summer, but I like working on it. This color is really pretty, and that's what made me want to buy this. It sort of looks tweedy with the different yarns mixed in, and let's see. This color is, what is this color? I don't know. It's color 6971, I think. Let's see. Yeah, 6971. I'll put it in the show notes. But it's pretty. Get a little disorganized here. So that's my first work in progress. I forgot to say that this is by, well, when I held it up you saw it, but it's by Casapinka. And yeah, everything that I'm showing is, I'll put the name of the yarn and the pattern name in the show notes below. So if I forget to mention something, I will remember to put them in the show notes. Okay? One of the fun things that I did while the grandkids were here, of course, when they're here, they know I knit, of course, obviously. I've given them blankets and scarves and hats, and they're still at the age where they want me to make them things. Grandma, can you make me a hat or a scarf? Blankets are very popular. So during the month of July, I have taught 3 of the boys how to knit. They each wanted to know. 2 brothers, one's a 10-year-old and one is a 9-year-old. The 9-year-old wanted to learn, and the 10-year-old was like, no, I don't want to. But when he saw his brother knitting, and what was amazing to me is Tyler, the 9-year-old, picked it up so quick. Explain to me what you're doing.
I'm making a scarf.
Well, what is it? What are you doing? What is this called?
Knitting.
And what are these things called?
Knitting needles.
Okay.
Needle knitting.
And what's this called?
Yarn.
And how do you, if you were showing somebody how to do it, how would you describe it?
Knitting.
Mm-hmm. So I suggest, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I was going to say push these up a little bit more, but doing a good job there.
I know.
Yeah. So you want to use blue yarn for your scarf?
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I have any. That's okay. I was just astonished, and he was very concentrating, very deeply, and I could see that he was remembering what I taught him, what words I was using, and he would correct himself if he wasn't putting the needle in the right spot or wrapping the yarn around the right way. So he was really doing well. My son's girlfriend, when the boys went back to my son's house, I said, "Oh, you can teach Tarrant now, Tyler." So she's been wanting to learn how to knit. So she kind of took over Tyler's scarf, and she started to knit. And when they came here to pick up the kids, she showed me her progress, and she's doing really well too. I took her into my closet to show her my stash. She was quite amazed that one person could have so much yarn. And I gave her a skein of Miss Bab's yarn to start another scarf, and she was quite happy about that. But now the 10-year-old saw Tara knitting and he saw Tyler knitting, so now he wanted to learn. So they live in Georgia. They come up here for the summer, and well, on their way back, the three of them on the trip back to Georgia from New Jersey were sitting there knitting, all three, Tara and the two boys, and I thought that was quite neat. Sunday, my other grandson, my daughter's son, Ryan, he heard that his cousins learned to knit, and Ryan is also 10, and he said, please, can you teach me? And Ryan is he's pretty active kid, has a little bit of a problem staying focused on one thing, so I wasn't quite sure how that was going to work out. I gave him the needles, gave him a little lesson, and he immediately picked it up also. So he was very happily knitting when he left here. On the way home, he was going to be knitting. And his mother, my daughter, has picked it up again, so it's been quite the thing for, I've converted some knitters, and whether they stick with it or not, we'll see. That was fun. Of course, I always have to have a sock on the needle, and this is my next pair. It's going to be a shorty pair. I want to say that this yarn is, I want to say Evil Little Goat, but I'm not totally positive, because again, it's a yarn that I had put into a shawl, and this is what I had left over, and I'm using it, but it's really, really pretty. I just love the colors in this. There's some purple and yellow, and just really pretty. I like the way it's coming out. That's my second work in progress. That's what I've been doing for my sock. So the next thing I'm going to show you is what has been taking up most of my time. And I've just started knitting it, I'm crocheting it. And it's one of those projects that I just want to pick up and keep going on it. It is the Neat Ripple. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Neat Ripple, and it's by Attic 24, Lucy from Attic 24. And it's crocheted, and it's a free pattern. You can look it up on Ravelry. And it's, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to do. And it's going to be kind of hard to show because it's gotten quite big. This yarn is Miss Bab's yarn. It's Miss Bab's Yowza yarn, which is like a light worsted, and this color is Mayhem. So I bought this yarn at one of the festivals. I don't remember which one, probably New Jersey, or no, she doesn't go to New Jersey, probably Maryland Sheep and Wool. And I bought 2 skeins because they're oversized skeins. I think they're like a skein and a half because they have over 500 yards, something like that. I was intending on making a sweater, but never got that started because I wasn't quite sure how a sweater would look in this, because it is kind of all different colors. And so then I decided I would make a shawl. And I looked up on Ravelry the yarn, the Yowza yarn, to see what people were making with it. And I found Susan B. Anderson has a bunch of shawls that use the Yowza yarn. and this one's called the Way It Shawl, and I started it, and I just wasn't feeling like the yarn wanted to be that shawl. So I took it out and I started to crochet an Afghan. And I was just crocheting back and forth, doing a half double crochet. And I thought that it might be nice to put a pattern. So I tore out that. So 2 frogs so far, the shawl and then the second blanket. But now I'm very, very happy with the neat ripple. And yeah, it's going to be hard to show this, but this is how far I've gotten on this, and I just love it. This yarn is just gorgeous, and it pulls quite a bit and almost looks like totally different skeins of yarn as you go along, and I'm going to put a picture in here to demonstrate that. But this yarn is just beautiful. So nice to work with. It feels so nice. And that's all I want to do is crochet on this. It is going to be a warm blanket. It is, let's see. It's 100% merino. And it's 560 yards, which is quite a lot. Yeah, and this color, like I said, is Mayhem. The thing with this is, so I bought the 2 skeins initially, and there's no way I would have enough for a blanket, so I ordered a 3rd skein, and I gave my son's girlfriend a skein. And so I ordered 2 more skeins the other day, and quick. I think it came within 2 days, but this is going to be a very pricey blanket because these skeins, actually, they are now $42 a skein for the Yowza. So I'm using, so far I'm going to be using about 4 skeins, and I hope that's enough. I'm not sure I would go for another skein because if it turns out to be just something I can wrap around while I'm watching TV, that's what it's going to be. But yeah, so this is what's been taking up most of my time, and it's just so nice to crochet on. The yarn, as I said, feels beautiful as you're working with it, and it's pretty mindless. It's pretty mindless pattern once you get the hang of it. And my edges are coming out nice and straight, which is always a good thing when you're crocheting. And the only thing is, you have to count like 4 stitches and then do something, 4 stitches and then do something. And I find myself, and then at the end it has to come out to even at the end. And there's been many times where I got distracted and I had to tear out a row, go back and find out where I either put too many or not enough, but it doesn't bother me. Crocheting is easy to tear out and fix. It's not like knitting. So that's it. That's my my favorite work in progress, which I'm working on totally all the time. And yeah, I hope to get back to the knitting because I'm kind of missing the motion of the knitting too. Yeah, so that's my last work in progress. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to announce the winner of the Joey Scarf Summer Top Knit-Along. There were 6 entries, and they all were beautiful, all 6 entries. And I picked a number randomly, and I'm so excited to tell you that Victoria from Victoria Knits, you won. Yes, and Victoria knit 2 tops, really cute tops. And this is what I'm going to be sending you. This is a beautiful skein of Toad Hollow yarn. And this is their Silky Toad base. This 80% superwash merino, 20% silk. It's really pretty. The color, let's see, is called Spring from Toad Hollow Yarns. So congratulations, Victoria. Can't wait to send you this and maybe some other little goodies. So I think that's it for today. I hope you have a nice rest of the summer, and I'm kind of looking forward to some cool weather, some fall weather, but I'm not going to rush the summer. And I just wanted to, I hit 300 subscribers, but then I lost 2, and then I gained 1. So now I'm at 299 subscribers, and I don't think that, my glasses are fogging up, I don't think that'll stay. So when I get to like 310, that's when I'll say I've hit 300 subscribers, and maybe we'll have a little giveaway then. So thank you for subscribing and for sticking with me and watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye now.